Hello, good day to everyone. My name is Bryan Mark, and today I'm going to tackle about the whale watching in Oslo. This webinar is all about the tourism activity in Oslob, Cebu, which is found or located in the northern part of the Philippines in the Cebu province. So the title of our webinar today is Whale Watching in Oslob, Balancing Tourism and Marine Conservation. So for today, I would like to get your attention to this particular tourist spot in the Philippines. And just to give you a brief background that whale shark watching, especially at Barangay Tanawan, has brought in much more revenue recently compared to the downturn during COVID-19. This is actually the current situation after the tourism sector is gradually recovering, though it's still well below pre-pandemic levels COVID-19 pandemic. So this is the report from the local newspaper, which is the Sunstar Cebu. And then we're going to dive into this particular tourism activity using the PISL analysis. All right. So right now, I would just like to discuss first on the political. So local government has enacted municipal ordinances. So when you say political, this involves the policies and laws that regulates for the protection or to make sure that tourists and whale sharks alike are not harmed. And then these are also initiative from the leaders in that particular area that making sure that the marine protected areas in that particular place are protected, especially the whale shark habitat. So post-COVID policy adjustments, reopening under safety quarantine protocols. Economic, so income and livelihoods. Whale shark tourism provides a major income source for local businesses, fisher folk, local vendors, boat operators, accommodation, and etc. So basically, this particular tourism activity had brought prosperity to the local place or in that particular province in the Philippines due to the number of tourists, international and local, are going there to just to experience the thrill and adventure swimming in the ocean together with this whale shark. So pricing strategy, the potential to increase foreign tourist fees, possibly to compensate for limiting visitor numbers is being considered. So since this also applies with the law of supply and demand, so since there's a lot of tourists going there, so there's a possibility to control the volume or the number of tourists going there by increasing their fees. Okay, so study shows tourists willing to pay more for better quality experience. So this will also avoid overcrowding in the area. So overcrowding can reduce visitor satisfaction. Okay, and is actually also will limit people and the boats. So basically, with the current policy or ordinance, then there will be limit to the number of people going there and the boats to be used. So social, so local community perception and dependence. Tourism has changed livelihoods. Many fishers shifted to tourism-related income. Actually, they are able to gather everyone who are fisher folks who were using their motorboat previously for fishing, and now they're using it for tourism purposes. And then so reports of feeling crowded, negative experiences when too many swimmers boats are there. And then cultural identity impacts. The shift from fishing to tourism, like what I have mentioned earlier, changes the cultural connection to the marine life, possibly expectations among local about conservation and economic opportunity. So for technology, monitoring and research tools, there are scientific studies using surveys, long-term monitoring of shark behavior, boat traffic, compliance with the rules, etc. So this contributes to the understanding impacts and informing policy. Communication and booking systems, use of tour operators, advisories, website to manage visitors, collect fees. So they already have this website, and they have been using the booking system to regulate the number of visitors to avoid overcrowding. And the ability to scale this system is by having the ticketing and scheduling on their website. So that's very important in order to limiting the capacity or to avoid overcrowding. So legal. So this aspect is being also considered because whale sharks are protected species in the Philippines. So the feeding interaction practices are regulated by municipal ordinance. So when we say municipal ordinance, meaning the local government are actually doing their best to create ordinances and policies that needs to be complied by all stakeholders to avoid endangering the sharks and the marine life. So local government codes, zoning, carrying capacities. So these are ordinances for code of conduct, distance rules, boat restrictions, limits on numbers of visitors are legal tools. So their enforcement, monitoring, and penalties matter. Lastly, for environment, now animal welfare and behavior. Feeding has changed whale shark behavior. So basically, when you feed the marine life or any marine life, that would change their behavior. Like basically, if no one is feeding them, they will just visit that place and then will go to a different area to hunt food or to look for food. But because there's already a human intervention in feeding them, so basically they will no longer go around to find another place for food. So carrying capacity limitation, overcrowding, like what mentioned earlier, swimmers, increase environmental pressure. So if the whale sharks are being bombarded with a lot of people swimming with them, that might disturb them as well. Philippines, as we all know, that it's in the Pacific, so we always being visited by typhoon. So in that regard, that can also disrupt the natural behavior of the shark migration. All right, so in this in this part, whale shark watching total revenue. So before the pandemic strike, the revenue actually went to the highest amount. So in this particular representation, the revenue um, is on the left side, which is 900 million, 800 million, 700 million, down to 100 million. So the gray, the gray one, the colored gray, is represented by the number of international tourists. So basically, the tourist is times 1,000 for the entrance fee. So as you can see, the revenue, which is colored orange, the total revenue went to above 800 million pre-pandemic. Okay, so it's greater than what we have compared to the recent record. So for 2023, after pandemic, post-pandemic, the foreign tourists are actually decreased. I mean, it decreased to 60,000 from 300,000. And then it bounced back slowly on 2024. It went to 160,000 foreign tourists. And then in the recent quarter for 2025, it again bounced back to 300. So that's for first and second quarter of 2025. And for the local tourists, you can see pre-pandemic it's 260, and then it went up after pandemic because of course people after pandemic they're already wanted to roam around again and experience life again after pandemic. They're during pandemic they're being isolated and they're not allowed to go out from their houses. So after the pandemic, when it was already when stay at home is being uplifted or lifted, so they're now able to roam around and experience again going to the Oslob whale shark watching. So it went up again until 2024. So local tourists actually went up, and then at the current first and second quarter of this year, it went down. But the year has not ended yet, so who knows, this will increase. And for the revenue, so pre-pandemic, that's 800 million. And then after pandemic, it went down to 500 million. And then 2024, which is last year, it increases slowly back to 780 million compared from the pre-pandemic situation. All right, so assessment of the key environmental impacts, issues, and trends that will have a future impact on the tourism or hospitality product or destination, which is the Oslo whale shark watching. So, so this must be addressed for the 2030 strategy. So the local government, together with the private sectors and the rest of stakeholders, are implementing measures to address the environmental and ecological concerns of the famous tourism activity in Oslob town. Laws have been passed to ensure the safety of the whale sharks and to make sure that they are not being disturbed and harmed while engaging with the tourists. And for the next 10 years, especially, bookings are made online and authorities can predict the volume of tourists coming in a daily basis. By this data, which is gathered through online booking, can be used to ensure that there will be no overcrowding and the whale sharks will not be disturbed or endangered to the presence of humans. So that's it for today. This is Brian once again, and thank you for watching our webinar today. You have a good day. Bye.